This week on Previews World Weekly, Dark Horse finds a new home, the Incredible Hulk goes for an incredible price, and Norman Reedus as Ghost Rider. It's a thing, maybe. It's all happening right now on Previews World Weekly. What's up, Previews World? It's Wednesday, which means it's New Comic Book Day, which means it's once again time for Previews World Weekly. I am your host today, Ashton Greenwood, aka the Duchess of Free Comic Book Day, and Troy is away, so I have a very wonderful guest host with me today to hang out and ruin the show.
We're taking over.
Every time we've done this previously, it's just like we start so good, and then by the time we get to Social Swamp, it's just a wreck.
Oh yeah, no, it's usually like discussing like the Chris's or something like that. So yeah.
Hey, that's important content.
I love it.
Welcome, Mia. Welcome back. You're here to hang out with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So the first thing I want to say is we have a new catalog out, a new previews catalog hit shops last week on the 29th. This was our issue number 400, so kind of a big deal for us, a landmark issue. On the front cover, we have Demons from Dark Horse Comics. Superstar creators Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo team up once again to bring you this fantastic new horror series. On the flip side, back cover, whatever you want to call it, is Astro City from Image Comics. You have Kirk Busiek, Brent Anderson, and Alex Sinclair bringing Astro City back to Image Comics in the one-shot Astro City That Was Then. Also inside of this catalog is the Free Comic Book Day books, which I'm personally very excited about. So if you want to check out the cover art for everything and the full synopsis for all of the titles available, it's 46 titles. And then beyond that is literally anything you could possibly think of: comic books, graphic novels, trading cards, apparel, manga, collectibles, statues, action figures, the whole nine. So this is, if it's the January issue, this is for things that'll be in your local comic book shop in March. And speaking of items up for pre-order, I didn't mention pre-order, but the things in this catalog are available for pre-order. Mia, you have something available for pre-order.
Yeah. Okay. So this is kind of surreal because I've been doing the What's at Comic Shops for years now, and now I get to say that a comic I have written is now in the previews catalog, which is really cool. So I wrote a new Betty Page comic series. It's gonna be 5 issues, and the first issue comes out in March. It's called The Alien Agenda. So it's gonna be Betty Page going after, of course, aliens. Very exciting. The art is amazing. Salor is the artist, and he has done some beautiful work in it, and I'm really excited. And yeah, seeing it in the previews catalog is making it so surreal, and I'm so excited. It's really cool.
That's insane. I'm so excited for you. So proud of you. I will definitely be getting a copy.
Yay. Thank you so much. Yeah, be sure to go pre-order your copy.
And I heard a rumor that there might be a different cover for it, maybe featuring you.
Yes, so there's a number of different covers. There's also a cosplay cover, which does have me on the front. So, like, I don't know if that's some sort of, like, thing that I can say, like, you know, I wrote it and I'm on the cover. I don't know how often that happens. So that's kind of a cool little thing. And then another cool thing that they're doing for artists is they're doing a blank cover. So if you are an artist and you want to draw your own Betty Page cover for the issue that I wrote, that is also available. So I think that's really neat.
That's awesome. Can we talk about how it's a hell of a flex that you're like, I wrote this cover book and I'm on the cover? Like, that is the ultimate flex.
It's like the like Stephen King, M. Night Shyamalan kind of thing where it's like I get like a little bit piece like in the show. So I'm like, all right, so maybe I'm on the cover. That's kind of cool. Yay.
I love that. Yeah. Like your Stan Lee cameo.
Yes, there you go. It's my Stan Lee moment. I love it.
I love that too. So again, you guys can, that's in the January catalog, right? So they can pre-order right now. So make sure you do that. And then when March comes, you won't be sad that you missed out.
Exactly. I think too many people don't realize that you need to pre-order the comics that you want to make sure that your comic shop has it. You know, and I'm just going to do a plug of comicshoplocator.com to find your local comic shop or Previews World pull box, which is really cool, especially now that the pandemic and everything, you don't actually have to leave the house and it still benefits your local comic shop. So
she's absolutely right. Make it easy on yourself.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many ways to do it.
All right, so, Dave says, good afternoon, ladies. What's up, Dave?
Oh, hi, Dave.
Thank you for joining us. Cover Price Comics says, Boondock Blaze, what's up, Duchess and Cosplay Queen Anamia? I love that. You were also the Funko High Priestess for a minute there as well.
Yeah, I like that one. I feel very, like, powerful, like Funko powerful.
Right. Cover Price also says, keep kicking ass with Dynamite. Congrats and well earned. And it definitely is.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, so speaking of comics, let's go into what's at comic shops, and we'll tell you guys what our picks are for this week and some of the other cool things you can grab at your local comic shop. All right, that always gets me, even though I hear it every week, and every week it's fun. Brian Spencer Cosplay says, already called my local comic shop and pre-ordered my comics. There you go.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Brian knows what's up. So we're going to tell you guys our picks for this week, what's out at comic shops today. So Mia, start us off.
All right, so my pick is going to be Basilisk from Boom Studios. The premise is that Chimera are 5 young people that possess incredible powers based on the 5 human senses. And they're kind of bound by a cult-like hive mind, and they just leave death and destruction in their wake. And Reagan, one of the Chimera, escapes the group, and she binds her murderous eyes and hides in, like, cheap hotels and dive bars, and is kind of trying to get away from, like, how guilty she feels about everything in her past. And then the tables turn when one of their former victims, Hannah, appears and forces her to have to hunt down the others of her kind and some, redemption. So very exciting, interesting story. I'm interested to really get in there and see what the other powers are like, because they're all based on the 5 senses. So I'm kind of wondering. I mean, the obvious way of killing someone with odor is like gases and stuff, but I'm also kind of like, how far are they gonna push that? Like, I have a potty mind, okay? So I'm like, if someone doesn't die from a horrible fart, I'm gonna be very upset.
Okay, I'm so glad you said that, because I was really sitting here like, is there a fart joke coming? There has to be.
It has to happen. It just has to.
Like, if you don't miss the opportunity.
See, I'm telling you, what was it? A Quiet Place. Missed the opportunity. Well-placed fart. If someone died that way in A Quiet Place, you know someone had to have.
That's the worst way to go, too.
Oh, man, don't eat beans in A Quiet Place. All right.
There's your tip of the day. There you go. Life hack. You're welcome.
I'm glad I could help.
All right, we're going to transition quickly from the fart jokes. My pick this week is not a comic book, which is also another good time to remind you guys, your comic book shop doesn't just have comic books. They also have toys, collectibles, action figures, apparel, all of the nerdy stuff you can think of. It's all there. So my pick this week is a statue. It's the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pop-Up Parade Kaiba PVC from Good Smile. And I picked this for a very specific reason. There's certain things that, like, you ever see something, Mia, and it just, like, unlocks a memory or something you've forgotten about? That was this statue for me. When I was younger, I had a huge Yu-Gi-Oh! Phase. Me and my brother had a huge Yu-Gi-Oh! Phase. And, like, Kaiba, I had a weird obsession with Kaiba. And I feel like this tracks based on the other people I've admitted to having crushes on: Jughead, Prince Zuko, Loki. Like, it's all very much, they look the same. So I saw this and I was like, oh my God, I loved him so much. And also Blue Eyes White Dragon. But I think they did a really good job capturing him in this rendering of the statue, all of his different layers with the cloak, and the cloak is incredibly dynamic, and all of the different arm pieces. It's a super, super, super detailed piece. And it's about 9 inches tall. So he's a decent size. And I'm excited about him. That's what I got to say.
No, that's really cool. And, like, the fact that it's a larger statue, like, that's really, that one's a good one. But, yeah, definitely got it. I think this is why we collect all the stuff that we had when we were kids. It's like that like, nerd nostalgia that we just want to get back, right?
No, you're absolutely right. Like, I do have a tendency to pick things that I'm like, I loved this when I was a kid. Like, it just hits a different way.
Yeah, because now we're adults with money.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. All right, so let's jump into what else you can get at your local comic shop. We've got Mia from the past. We've got all the Mias this week. Mia from the past is going to walk us through what you guys can grab at your local comic shop this week.
Hey Previews World, Mia here. Do you know what new comics are coming out this week? No? Well, let's take a look. Is that it? No way. Your comic shop has something for every type of customer. So stop at a comic shop today, and I'll see you back here next week.
All right, so like she said, all of those things are available at your local comic shop. You can head over there now and check out those items. But that is not everything. If you want to see the full list of things that are out today, because it is a heck of a list, you can head over to previewsworld.com/new releases, and that'll show you everything that's out today broken down by publisher. And you can get all excited, rub your hands together, and head over to your local comic shop and grab those items. So let's jump into news, because there was quite a few things that happened over the last week.
After the holidays news.
My God.
I was not expecting that. Oh, God,
Donnie keeps us on our toes. All right, so the first thing up is the Incredible Hulk went for an incredible price in the last couple days. A rare first edition of the Incredible Hulk #1 was sold for $490,000. The copy is in near mint condition, and it features the Hulk in his original gray form rather than his current signature green form. It was bought by a private collector, so no name I could throw out and be like, this guy bought it. But it was brought by a private collector, again, for $490,000, which is ridiculous. Comic Connect was the auction site that handled this particular sale, and they said that it was the most expensive copy of the first Hulk story ever sold, most expensive copy. And in a quote, Vincent Zerzolo, sorry if I ruined your name, said, highly graded copies of Hulk #1 are notoriously hard to find due to the cheap paper used and the smudging of the gray color on the front cover. So finding something like this is a hell of a find, and obviously the price reflects it. What you think?
That's super cool. I see, and this is why I'm never throwing away a single comic ever in my life.
Right.
You know, they will go forever in my storage, and I will never get rid of them. Because, yeah, that's insane. But I also didn't know that about the paper, and that's a really cool aspect to, like, why comics from back then are worth so much and rarer. I never thought about the fact that, like, the ink and the smudging in the paper, and, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's not something I would have thought of either. I don't know why, but in my brain, it's like if you print something, it's printed and that's it. It's done. But I guess that's not the case with like newspaper. Paper is kind of weird.
I mean, I remember also being a lefty, you just were always used to getting ink on your hands.
Oh, no.
But I remember like newspapers back in the day, like, yeah, you would get ink on your fingers. Or like if you ever move and you use newspapers to like cheaply wrap your your plates and stuff, and then you unpack them and it's all kind of dirty. So yeah.
Oh, perfect.
I guess we've evolved to better inks now, luckily.
I would hope so.
I would hope so.
All right, what else is going on in the world of nerddom?
So Embracer Group has recently entered into an agreement to acquire Dark Horse Media. So Dark Horse will actually become the 10th operative group of the Embracer Group. Embracer Group is the parent company of businesses developing and publishing PC games like Saints Row, Borderlands, and even Goat Simulator. Through this acquisition... Hey, I have heard great things about Goat Simulator.
I love goats. I'm not nothing.
But through this acquisition, Embracer strengthens its transmedia capabilities by adding expertise in content development, comics publishing, and film and TV production. So it'll be interesting to see how this may affect the future of current Dark Horse comics themselves, like in print form. But it might possibly open the door to maybe some video game or other media tie-ins, which would be really cool. So could be good, could be bad. It's too soon, I think, for me to tell how it's going to go.
Yeah, I think, probably in general, it might be a little too early, but that's a great point, and actually not one I thought of when I first saw that they had been purchased by Embracer or acquired, however you want to say it. But that would be so cool to see kind of Dark Horse come into their own and like maybe a video game aspect and have that kind of like cross content in a different way that isn't just like adapting it for a TV show. That would be super cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see more video games based on like comic series. I think there's so much room for that. So yeah, that would be really, really awesome, and especially since they've got such great titles behind them, like Borderlands is a huge hit. Don't knock Goat Simulator. It's
I wouldn't dream of it.
But I mean, if they can have success with Goat Simulator, I think they can have a lot of success with other Dark Horse titles. So
absolutely. What else we got going on? There's a new Radiant Red miniseries coming from Image Comics. Rising star Cherish Chen joins artists David LaFuente and Michael Muerto for the upcoming Radiant Red series. It's a spin-off of Radiant Black, and it's coming to comic shops in March. This new 5-issue miniseries reunites the fan favorite creative team behind Kyle Higgins and Marcelo Costa's Radiant Black, issue number 6 specifically. So issue number 6 introduced the Radiant Red character and her story arc. And so now they're going to take this character and expand her world outward in a spin-off miniseries. And in an interview with IO9, Chris Higgins said the last time we saw Satami, which is Radiant Red's kind of human alias, I should say, last time we saw Satami in Radiant Black, she and Marshall had finally buried the hatchet, but that doesn't mean all her problems have gone away. As her life gets more and more complicated, we're delighted to have Cherish, David, and Mikkel back together to continue what they started in Radiant Black. And Satami's story is just getting started. So I'm super excited to see kind of this expanding outward, and I love that Image is really trying their hand at creating universes. They did this with Spawn, and I think it can be really successful here too.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that with the whole like Image creating a universe, which I think would be really interesting to see another company creating their own universe and how far they can go with it.
Yeah, especially with their characters being so diverse and complex and challenging in the things that they have to tackle. So I'm interested to see that. All right, I'm ready to move on to your next piece of news because I'm excited for it.
All right. So Walking Dead and Ashton fan favorite Norman Reedus has been vocal in the past about his desire to play Ghost Rider in the MCU, and lately he's been really stoking that fire on social media by liking a number of posts saying that they want him to play the character, and he even tweeted a link to an Instagram post on Monday from a fan account that suggested that the role is his. So he's really going out there and kind of pushing for it. So we'll have to see what happens, because unfortunately for all the hopefuls out there, his representative has said publicly that there's no truth to the rumors. But, that could be one of those, like, Andrew Garfield, like, no, I'm not in Spider-Man,
Like, get on the internet and lie about it.
Yeah, just lie. So it could be a lie. It could be the truth. We don't know. But I think that would be really cool, especially since he's already got a love for motorcycles. I think he really fits the character. And it would be really cool. I think it would bring new life to a character that I think people have kind of gotten a little meh on based on past movies.
Nicolas Cage.
I was gonna say.
I don't know anything about Ghost Rider, but I know that Nicolas Cage movie was weird.
Yeah, it definitely was.
I'm super excited about this. Again, I don't know anything about Ghost Rider, but I know that I love Norman Reedus, and I desperately want to see him do this. He's already a motorcycle guy, like you said. He had that show on AMC that was like riding around on my motorcycle, being a cool guy. I'm sure it had a name, but that was the plot. So he's kind of the perfect fit for it. And I think, like you said about rebuilding the character, he brings his own fan base. So there's already going to be a lot of people excited about it just because he's in it.
Yep, I hate to be that person that's like, throw in the big name to get all the attention, because it's like such a big shtick in Hollywood. But for this one, I think it really can reinvent the Ghost Rider character for a lot of people. So I'm all for it.
I am too. And I mean, I might feel the way you were saying about like picking a big name or whatever if it wasn't such a good fit. Like he feels like such a good fit for this particular role.
No, perfect casting. So
Yes.
hopefully it's not a lie.
Fingers crossed. I want this. All right, what else we got? All right, so Hakes is sponsoring our show today. Let's talk about them a little bit. So Hakes is currently running an online exclusive auction, and it's featuring toys and action figures largely. Bidding starts at $9.99 for every item, which is so great. They do a lot of these really big auctions, and it can kind of feel like if you're a collector that these things are out of your reach. But this auction is specifically geared towards your everyman collector. Everything starts at $9.99, so all of these things are very affordable to get your hands on. And that doesn't diminish the quality of things that are available. You know, Hasbro, Mattel, Playmates, those guys are involved, and it's got all of the coolest properties. There's almost 300 Star Wars items to bid on. There's Transformers stuff, G.I. Joe, Marvel, Star Trek, James Bond, and Dune, which I am personally excited about. And also there's a ton of Superman stuff. Like I know Superman collectibles are very popular, so there's plenty of that to choose from. So bidding is starting right now at hakes.com. And it will be closing on January 19th. So you're going to want to get in there, place your bids, and keep an eye on your products so you don't lose out.
Yeah, what I thought was really cool is a lot of them are actually like graded and sealed. And it wasn't until like last year that I learned about like sealed toys and just like the grading of them and how intense that is. So the fact that you can get a piece that's already preserved and it will stay at that rating forever, that was really cool. And also all the Star Wars action figures, amazing.
Yes.
There was a Chewie one for like $9.99. I was like, oh, okay. Bid.
You just do it. $9.99. You got $9.99.
Exactly. Then I can say that I bid on a Hakes auction.
Right?
Hello, everyone. Producer Johnny here. You know how much I hate to. You know how much I hate to interrupt shows.
Yeah, huh?
But I just have to point out something about the Hakes auction, and how cool some of the stuff is in here. There is a Transformers Decepticon leader Megatron in box that is like Generation 1. This is back.
God.
This is back when Megatron when they made him into a gun. Before parents became outraged that like we don't want our kids to have a toy that turns into a gun. So you can't find anything like this like on the market in terms of like Transformers. They're all like animals or vehicles or something like that. So I saw this and like I kind of need to buy all this myself. So and the fact that you said everything is like super cheap, like bidding prices at $9.99, like that's amazing. Like right now, this Megatron is only going for $27.50, which is amazing.
Johnny, bid on it.
I'm about ready to bid on this after this show's over. Honestly.
Do it.
Like I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot for showing this out there to everyone because
I know why would you do that?
Yeah, don't show it. But
it's all for the love of the company. No, it's just it's amazing. They've got a lot of great stuff on here, so I just wanted to point that out. There's like some pencils in here that are like themed to like the band Kiss, like old wooden pencils that are like So like just do a deep dig into the Hakes auction that's going on right now because you'll find some incredible, like amazing stuff.
I want to see what's up with the Dune stuff. I hope it's something from that wacky David Lynch movie.
Do we want to look for it?
Do we have time?
Hey, I'm going to make time. I'm the producer of this show. All right. Let's see what we got here. Dune. Yeah, it looks like it's some of the David Lynch stuff.
Is that the Baron?
It says Rabban. I don't know.
Oh, the Beast. Okay, the Beast.
The Beast. Okay. Stilgar, the Freeman.
Yes.
Yeah, so there is some some really good stuff on here. Ooh, Sandworm.
$9.99, Ashton.
Factory seal Sandworm in box.
Oh, that's cool. I kind of want that.
I think Ashton's going to be going on there after this is over too.
I think we've doomed ourselves with this segment.
Right? I'm like, let's go spend money and buy this toy.
From Tarple gun, yeah, all kinds of stuff. So, yep.
Oh, that's neat.
There goes my paycheck.
Oh, I want
And
that
Ashton's.
sandworm. I want it.
What have we done to ourselves?
Johnny, why?
See, now you too can tease yourself by going and viewing the Hank's auction. But then also go bid on it because there's a lot of good stuff for cheap.
You can
so
go
far,
make a
so.
list of how you plan to spend your next paycheck.
Yes. Yes.
All right, let's get out of here before I spend more money, or plan to spend more money. All right, trailer. Let's talk about the trailer. So we're going to show you guys a look at the Fantastic Four Reckoning War from Marvel, and then when we come back, I'll give you a little more information about what's up with that book because it's super cool. All right, so that was Fantastic Four Reckoning War from Marvel. Marvel is serving up an epic story 15 years in the making, which is insane. Dan Slott's long-awaited Reckoning War saga begins this February, kicking off in Fantastic Four Reckoning Alpha #1, and then unfolding in the pages of Fantastic Four. The story will shed light on the very first war that rocked the Marvel Universe, a conflict that preceded Asgard, Galactus, and all of the heroes you know and love. That is coming to comic shops this February 2nd. And it looks insane.
That was amazing, and I've also realized that's when you know you've made it in comics, is when you get an amazing epic comic trailer like that. Like, that was so cool. That was intense.
I love the trailers. Like, that's honestly one of my favorite segments of this show because they're always so intense, like you said, and dynamic, and it's just like, it gives you that, like, bam, pow, like, comic book energy, and I love it.
I love it. And that just, they look like such an intense story. So, yes, exciting.
All right. Ooh. Before we move on to Social Swamp, I want to do a thing. Johnny Rose, you want to join us to talk?
Yes, just like the excitement there that just kind of turned you into a monkey with your sounds. Like, what was that?
You know, I was going down the outline and I forgot that this part was up next, so I got real excited.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The Book of Boba Fett. It happened. Have you guys seen the first episode?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. First thing I want to say is, Johnny, can you throw up the spoiler warning? Because I feel like this might get a little spoilery. The second episode came out today, right?
Yes, it did. So,
okay.
if
So
you haven't seen the first episode, this is your warning.
If you haven't seen the first one yet, that's your problem now.
Well, some people haven't seen the Spider-Man movie yet, so
yeah, that's my problem.
Yeah.
That's 100% my problem. That's my own fault. I know it is. I'm going this weekend. Look, leave me alone.
Moving on.
What did we think before I yell and monologue?
Maybe you want to
I
go
thought it
first?
was amazing. I loved getting to see Ming-Na back again and just kicking butt. I love her character. I just love her in general. She has always been an inspiration for me, so seeing her in the Star Wars universe is just such a delight. And she plays such a badass, so I'm really excited for that. Also reiterated the fact that, like, I absolutely cannot stand the Jawas. Like, they are so annoying.
Those are my favorite characters.
No, they're like those guys that steal catalytic converters out of cars in the middle of the night. All right, they will just take you for everything.
Yo, I feel
so,
that like
yeah.
when I was little, I loved the Jawas. I thought they were so cute and like the Utini. I loved that. But now I'm like, they're so frustrating.
Yeah, you're like, stop it, stop stealing everything from everyone. But yeah, so I was just like, oh, Jawas again.
Dave is saying, why isn't Ming not running things?
It's a good question.
Right?
I mean, she's
That's
got the
what
like
I'd say.
the trifecta. She was like Mulan. She's a Disney princess. She was on Agents of Shield, so she's been in a Marvel property, and now it's Star Wars. So
That is
She's
the
like
trifecta.
the trifecta.
yep.
I salute her.
Yeah. Oh, she's amazing.
All right, am I up next?
You can be up next. I have
Okay.
a lot of feelings.
I have a lot of feelings because I am just okay. Spoiler warning! It's right here. If you're still watching, then I'm assuming you've already watched it. We got to finally see something that fanboys have waited almost 40 years to see, and that's Boba Fett escaping the Sarlacc pit. Oh my God! Finally,
Dude, I feel that. I feel that reaction in my soul. I need you to know that.
So I'm not going to get into the specifics of it. Well, I mean, hey, you know what? Hell with it. If we got the spoiler warning up, I kind of was hoping the fact that we would see him blast out.
Yeah.
But I guess after Jedi, like his jet backpack got damaged, which I'm like, well, he's in the Sarlacc pit. He's got time on his hands. He could probably fix it. But
Are you going to really be in there fixing?
Sure. Never mind the fact that he's being quasi-digested.
yeah, but slowly digested over 1,000 years. So apparently the acidic acids of the Sarlacc is not going to like take that long to digest you. I mean, Boba Fett's going to die before he gets digested over 1,000 years.
Right.
So, but I mean, we got to see that. So I'm just was happy with that. Within the first like a couple minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm fine with whatever happens from this point on. I have no problems. So,
Yeah.
Ashton, your take.
Yeah, no, that was definitely one of the biggest things. And I my brother watched it before I did, and I asked him if that was in there, and I like spoiled it for myself because I was so desperate to know. I was like, "Is there a Sarlacc moment?" He's like, "Yeah, and it's insane," and it is insane. It's awesome, and that's definitely, I think, like you said, something everyone's been waiting for. I loved the way the story was told between present day and flashbacks. I thought that was really cool and really effective, and I liked that Boba Fett was kind of down on his luck. With the Tusken Raiders and with the Jawas. I don't like when characters are so, like, I don't like the Mary Sue deal. I don't like when characters are so perfect and the winner always wins and the good guy always prevails. I like when they're down on their luck. So I like that we got to see that part of him. Something that jumped out at me and I'd like kind of your guys' take on it. It kind of felt like this area was not as populated maybe as it was during Jabba's reign. Like there wasn't really as many people in the palace and the cities felt kind of more empty. I don't know where everybody went, but it seemed like there was a smaller population.
Well, I'm assuming that maybe Jabba was more of a benevolent crime lord and kind of allowed the city to like thrive and prosper. So when he died, which by the way, it's awesome to see that Jabba's decimated sail barge in the background behind the target. But I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I don't know, but I mean, supposedly, like from what I understood, Bib Fortuna took over.
Right.
And then I guess did Boba take it away from him, or were there other crime lords? But I mean, it could have just been a matter of like how poorly they were kind of running things and like how it was affecting the local economy. So I mean,
that's not a bad take though. That kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah. But I haven't watched episode 2, but I'm excited to watch it. So.
And can we also talk about that little Tusken Raider kid at the end? I knew he was gonna pull that. I was like, watch, he's gonna go back and be like, look what I did. Look what I did. He's gonna take all the
Yeah, but
all
you
the
know,
like little characters.
You know the rest of the tribe is calling BS on that. It's like, you know what? You did not do that. I mean, I see a grown-ass man back there like following behind you. He did that.
Oh, like 10-year-olds, like, look what I did.
I'm giving him the sip of water. You get nothing. Go to your
right.
room.
Okay. Yeah. The older guy knew. Like he knew for sure.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how that monster had like big Rancor vibes?
Oh yeah. Oh, when I first saw the hand coming out of the sand, I first thought it was going to be a crate dragon.
Oh, that would have been kind of cool to tie.
But then they had already gone through with that in Mandalorian, so it's just like, oh, it looks like something from Clash of the Titans, actually.
You know what was neat though? The fact that
Kinda.
he like strangled him with the chain kind of was like, I felt like that paid homage to the way Leia kills Jabba. I thought that was cool.
Oh, I didn't even pick that up. That's clever.
Always
Good
watching.
call.
Anything else you want to go add to that, Ashton? Because I know you've got so many feelings about this.
Oh, I immediately also went back and like fast forwarded to the original Sarlacc scene in Return of the Jedi because it's great. It's like one of, I don't know, like I know how some people are like, oh, Return's like the least good of the trilogy or whatever, but you have to admit that the Sarlacc scene is awesome.
Aside from the fact of like how unceremoniously Boba Fett gets thrown into that.
He gets thrown into the
Yeah.
Sarlacc by like a complete and total accident. Han just like bumps him off of the sail barge. He crashes into Jabba's thing and like rolls into the pit.
Yeah. So.
Like it's a total accident.
But that's you got to realize it's amazing. Like think back to like 1983 when that came out and how far the character of Boba Fett has actually come.
Yeah.
There is actually a small video on Disney Plus that kind of goes with it's not with the Book of Boba Fett, but if you watch it, it'll say like, oh, here's some other suggested viewing. It's like the history of Boba Fett, and it says that he's got like 4 lines in the entire original trilogy and like maybe 6 minutes of screen time. To see how much that character has evolved and gone from that to where he's at now, he's getting his own show. It's just, it's amazing. It's incredible to like see like the fan appeal of the character. So I can't wait to see more.
Likewise.
All right.
Yeah. Tonight.
Right. No more spoilers. All right, we're done. Let's move on.
We're done spoiling.
You can turn your sound back on.
All right. Well, let's pivot to an equally ridiculous conversation and jump into Social Swamp.
I always do little dances in the background.
Oh, the banjo is the
song.
best.
That was a fun one because then you just do this in the background. That's what I do. Darn you, Johnny. All right, so we asked you for the Social Swamp this week. What are 3 things that you can show us that you own, 3 nerdy items that perfectly describes you? And so for me, I would go with like Funko Pops, Loungefly backpacks since they're owned by the same company, bookshelves of comics, and then board games, all my board games. That would be like my nerdy items. What about you, Ashton?
Okay. Well, I brought my 3 items with me, and they are Funko Pops. Okay. So it's less about them being specifically Funkos and more about who they are Funko Pops of. So I have Prince Zuko, season 1 Prince Zuko, complete with scarred, ridiculous ponytail. Original Jughead, like Archie Comics original design Jughead, and of course Grimace. He has to be here. So I picked these items because I think that they symbolize the way I approach fandom and my fandoms. And that is that I have kind of an obsessive personality about things. So when I love something, I'm like, I need to know everything about this really obscure character. I need to know all the fan theories or whatever. I get super, super, super invested in things. And that is evidenced by like these particular characters. These 2 in particular represent that thing. And then Grimace represents that I love ridiculous conversations. And I love to debate like the semantics of super obscure nerd things and totally go down the rabbit hole. I did that with Grimace. I'm sure it's somewhere on the Previews World feed if you're interested in that ridiculousness. So I picked these 3 things: obsessiveness and super obscure topics.
Obsessiveness and a taste bud.
It is a chicken nugget. How dare you?
I just want to see your face. I think he's a chicken nugget. I don't know why he's a purple chicken nugget, but he's a chicken nugget. But the whole taste bud theory, I just know.
How dare you?
Sorry, Ashton.
Whoever said, I think it was a manager at some McDonald's, fire that man. He's wrong. That is false advertising and misinformation.
Oh, that was the best reaction ever. Oh my god, I need that as a gift. All right. Let's move on to some of the viewer responses. So, Tish Bevins Victoria said, Nerd Mom stuff. Sorry, choosing just 3 items was difficult. I get you there. And why, yes, that is a handheld crochet hook set. With Nerd Gadget, I can create something out of nothing anytime, anywhere. Pretty BA nerd skill and tool set. I'm rather proud of it.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool. Bob Mercer, my favorite nerdy item would be the t-shirt I won from DC for creating a character used in the Dial H for Heroes series back in the 1980s. It still fits, sort of. And artist Howard Bender drew the character Raggedy Doll on a piece of paper, which I recently had framed. Oh, that's really cool.
That is neat.
Mirashan Kovac said, as Harley Quinn was created in the 90s, once I became an adult, I had to have her. Ooh, nice collection going there.
That is a solid collection.
Right. And then Steve Rames sent, like, he's like me. You can't just pick one thing. So we get his whole nerd collection there, which is amazing.
I respect it. It's so well organized.
I know. I like the statue boxes.
Yeah.
And then Emma Flores, my husband's bedroom at his mom's, the OG Star Wars wallpaper. Oh, that is cool.
Oh my God.
I wonder how much that wall is worth now.
I want that.
Ashton, we need to find you that wallpaper now.
Oh, is that Luke on Hoth in like the top corner?
Mm-hmm.
I think it is.
Look at Lando.
Oh my
That's
God.
Awesome. That's
that
really
flag
cool.
folder. That's cool. That is awesome.
And props to that mom for putting that up in their son's bedroom. Props to that mom. That's really cool. Heather Endow says, plush stuffed animal collection, Baymax, Sadness from Inside Out, and Fluttershy are just 3. Aww.
Baymax.
I know. That's so sweet. And then Chris Rhodes, we've got a wide assortment of things. I think is that the Tesseract?
Can I just go over this real quick? Like I know that the middle one looks like a Jedi holocron.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I couldn't. Okay.
On the right is a Game Boy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure what that item is on the far left.
That looks like some type of yo-yo, if you ask me.
That could be.
It does.
It is
I think
yo-yo.
it is a
Okay,
yo-yo.
I can see by the loop on the red of the string. That's how you would like loop it around your finger. Okay. All right, I'm on board.
I like yo-yos. Yo-yos are cool.
Yeah. And then Casey James. I see we have a very big sci-fi lover here.
Nice.
We've got the lightsaber, the Enterprise, and Green Lantern Silver Surfer. Very nice. Philip Lyons. I have been a top cow fan since day one. Pitt especially. Nice. That's really cool. Jeff Strand. I like, is that a Weird Al Yankovic one? Funko Pop? Nice. That's awesome.
I like how completely unrelated those 3 items are.
I think it's totally appropriate that he lives in the skull castle.
I mean, it's perfect. Why not?
Yes.
I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Yes, that's awesome.
So I approve.
Kindred spirits.
I'm pretty sure the first Weird Al Yankovic song I heard was the one about Star Wars. I'm not sure what that's actually called.
I want to say it was either
There's 2.
Eat It?
Or at least 2.
The one about Anakin.
I'm this here
Vader
Anakin guy.
Believer.
That's the one that
Oh.
this American Pie.
Yeah. But what's Weird
There's
Al?
another one called Yoda, which is off of the Kinks' Lola. Y-O-D-A Yoda.
What should I Google? Weird Al Yankovic Star Wars.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's at least 2. Anyway, we can move on. We're in the middle of the show. We can look
the
at.
saga begins. All right. That's all I need to know.
There you go. Ashton's going to be listening to that and then like bidding on Hakes.com later on.
You're
Yeah,
100%
pretty
crush. Get that sandworm. I need it.
Let's see. And from the audience, we have Dave Brown Schindler. Framed comics on the wall. Hot Wheels Batmobile collection mounted on the wall.
Nice.
Thanks. That's really cool. That's really awesome. So if you have more, make sure to go find that post on our social media and add yours in and let people know what describes you and your item collection.
Yes. We want to hear
really
from you. All right, let's do more yelling. We talked about Spider-Man briefly earlier. We glossed over the fact that I haven't seen it yet. I'm trying real hard to avoid spoilers these days. It is a slippery slope.
It's
out
almost
there.
impossible.
It's dangerous. That's why I'm like, I need to see it as soon as humanly possible because I'm just getting to a bad space on social media. So I brought it on myself. I asked you guys on the Free Comic Book Day Twitter page to tell us who your favorite Spider-Man actor is. Who is Spider-Man to you? And I purposefully and intentionally left out an all three of them choice because I don't want none of that here. Be decisive. Make a decision. So, Johnny, jump
you're
in.
gonna make everyone starting fights over this now.
Oh, absolutely.
This is what Ashton does. She stirs the pot.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, Ashton. Like, where do you stand on this?
Okay. So I'm going to do a lot of explaining, but I do have a definitive choice. I think Tom Holland is a really, really good Spider-Man. He's the closest in age to Peter Parker of any of the men that have played Spider-Man, I think. And I think he captures the boyish charm and the like quick, snappy jokes the best. I think he nails the humor the best. But from a nostalgic standpoint, I have to say Tobey Maguire because I was a kid when those came out and it just has a place in my heart. So from a nostalgia standpoint, definitely Tobey.
All right, good answer. Mia, what do you say?
All right, so I had to rewatch them because I will admit Tobey kind of ruined me on Spider-Man for a long time. So I had to like watch all of them to get caught up to date. So Tom Holland was kind of my favorite going into it because that was the ones that I watched most recently. And I think he's an adorable Spider-Man. I think he's so cute as Peter Parker and so fun. But then I watched the Andrew Garfield ones recently and I really liked him in those. Like as a more like serious and conflicted Spider-Man, the more like adult kind of, very serious, I think, Spider-Man and having more of those like emotional tribulations that he's going through. So I kind of am tossed. I'm gonna go with Andrew Garfield as I think the like truer like Spider-Man, but my favorite to watch on screen would be Tom Holland because he's just fun.
It's difficult. It's Cover Price Comics say it's Tobey is the best Parker, but Tom Holland's the best Spider-Man.
Ooh.
Oh.
Which I don't find much of an argument with that. I think that he's got a point. So it's hard, like because I could go any of these ways. Riley, I'm bringing you in here for this one. You're coming in here on this one. Everyone, this is one of our other video editors, Riley. Riley, say hi. You're on the stream now.
Hello.
Riley, are you a Spider-Man fan at all?
I've seen a good amount of Spider-Man movies. I've definitely seen all the Tobey Maguire ones.
Okay. Have you seen any of the Andrew Garfield ones?
I've seen one of those. I saw the first one.
Okay, and how about the Tom Holland ones?
One of those as well, the first one.
Okay, so where do you lie on this? Like, where do you sit in terms of like, do you have a favorite actor that's played Spider-Man?
Well, I've obviously seen more of the original Spider-Mans because I've seen all three of those, and I think I like those the best. And I think I enjoy Tobey Maguire the best just because I feel like he did a really great job of capturing that sort of comic book vibe that I like, where it's a little bit silly. It's not taking itself too seriously. I really enjoy that when I watch movies that are based on comic book properties.
Okay, so because Riley picked Tobey Maguire and Ashton picked Tobey Maguire, we're going to go with Tobey Maguire for this. But let's see how everyone else voted.
Go us.
Ooh, it's relatively even, not too far off. Tobey Maguire is 34.1, Andrew Garfield at 25.6, and Tom Holland at 40.2. I feel like some of that may be just like, Tom Holland's like the new hotness, whatever. It's like he's right out there right now. He's current. He's on everyone's mind. So, I mean, the movies now are maybe a little bit better compared to what they were back then, but that was like, however many years ago that was.
Right.
So, but I think that like what you said is like the fact that those ones kind of have a special place in your heart. Like that's the first time we got to really see Spider-Man on the big screen like that. So I don't think anyone can really take that away. And I think Tobey Maguire did a good job for his portrayal in that. So.
Oh, the upside down kiss with MJ.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Raleigh.
No problem.
You're like, bye, Riley.
What? No love for Nicholas Hammond. Batnick says Tom Holland.
Nice.
John is stuck in a time loop. I like that name. I hope the poll ends with each getting 33.3%. Andrew Garfield has earned his place amongst the others. So,
I agree with that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think he is out of place.
No, I think they brought their own like flavor to the character.
I think he's just that forgotten middle child, It's
a little bit.
Everyone kind of like rags on Tobey Maguire because the first movies were kind of hokey, and then everyone's like, oh, Tom Holland is the new precious baby, and then poor like Andrew Garfield's like, no one remembers that I'm here, and like
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true though, because after the movie, people are saying they want like another one with him.
Yeah, a lot of people have been showing a lot of, Andrew Garfield love, like, suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be down for another one.
He's a super good actor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bye, Johnny.
I'm out, by the way. Thank you.
Okay. Nice talking to you.
Oh, the show is wrapping up, so there's no need for me to be here anymore.
Wrap it up, Johnny. I'm sick of talking to you anyway.
This is what happens when we take over.
That timing was perfect, Mia. Johnny's sick of us. Johnny's gonna yell at us later.
Troy's never gonna be allowed to leave again.
I know. Every time.
Enjoy your birthday, because you're not gonna get another.
Yeah, happy birthday, Troy. Failed to mention that earlier in the show. All right. That poll is running for 3 more days on the Free Comic Book Day Twitter. So if you have an opinion, you feel strongly, you can go weigh in there, swing the vote, maybe do some grassroots campaigning for Andrew Garfield. I don't know, whatever you're into. All right. So we're moving on to Comic Shop Shout Out. That is indeed the next thing. So who's our shout out this week?
All right, so this week is That's Entertainment in Massachusetts, submitted by Melanie R., saying, I'd like to nominate That's Entertainment. They're amazing, and I hope that I'll get at least 1 gift certificate for this place for Christmas, this and every year. Yay! Gift certificates to comic shops. Don't know why that ever slipped my mind, but that is such a good idea, and now I want a million of them. Yep. So, best gift ever for everyone, because also, I like to shop, so... For me, gift cards are like double fun presents. And then you know that you get comics that that person would like. So definitely gift cards at comic shops, go do it. And then also, if you have a comic shop that you would like to see shouted out, go ahead and drop a link in the comments. Let us know. And then hashtag support your local comic shop. And let us know which comic shop you would like to let us know about and have them featured on the show.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's give all the comic shops love.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that's it. I think we've made it through. We didn't do like too bad. It got a little weird for a second there.
We stayed somewhat on topic.
Yeah.
For the most part,
like pretty close to the outline. I think Troy would be proud of us.
We made it entertaining.
Exactly. See, that's what we do here.
Exactly.
All right. So let's see. If you want more Previews World content, more comic book content, you can follow, subscribe at Previews World on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, also on YouTube, also on Twitch, and you can head over to previewsworld.com to get all of the fantastic comic book content. If you want to find out more about Free Comic Book Day, you can follow, that's me, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And you can head over to freecomicbookday.com if you're interested in seeing the list of titles that you can get at your local comic shop on Free Comic Book Day, which, reminder, May 7th, we're back to the first Saturday in May jam. Yeah, we'll have more info there as more becomes available about those titles. Mia, where can people find you?
They can find me on all of my social media at Anamia Official on pretty much everywhere. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And then you can also find me in the Previews catalog under Dynamite Comics.
All right. And where else can people find you this month specifically?
And then later on this month, we will be doing another episode of the panel, and we will be talking about Saga, which is one of my favorite comic series, and it's back. Saga is a great sci-fi series with people with horns, people with wings, people with TVs for heads. It's a crazy sci-fi kind of... I don't know, almost Romeo and Juliet with sci-fi motifs and talking cats and seals. Yeah, just craziness. So check it out and come back at the end of the month when we talk about it.
I'll be there. You sold me on it.
It was the talking TV heads, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It was that and the seals. The seals. All right. Yes, you can catch that later this month, and you can catch us next week here on Previews World Weekly. And I think that does it for us. I'll see you at the spinner rack.
Don't forget that you can catch Previews World Weekly streaming live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific at Previews World on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.